Happy Monday! Since today is Monday, today's video is going to be talking about mythology. Specifically, the mythology and religious beliefs revolving around hurricanes of the Taino people. The Taino people were a group of people who lived throughout the Caribbean, but most famously in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Cuba. And the civilization of people had a collection of deities which they referred to as the Zemi. The Zemi received various kinds of sacrifices in order to be worshipped and in order to be serviced properly, and these were spirits and deities of massive power. These beings had the power to shape nature, and they controlled nature. And they're a very fascinating classification of deities, but the specific group I'm going to be talking about are 4 deities which collectively controlled various kinds of natural phenomenon, weather, storms, and hurricanes. In Taino mythology and in Taino religious beliefs, the consequences for not appropriately sacrificing and offering up the proper veneration to the Zemi could and would be quite severe, with one of the most devastating consequences for not doing this being a hurricane. And hurricanes are controlled by 4 Zemi, or at the very least, the most powerful hurricanes are controlled by 4 Zemi. These Zemi are Guatauva, Coatrischie, Hu-Rakan, and Guabancex. And Guatauva is the lord of thunder, he's the lord of clouds, kind of, and he's also the lord of lightning. So his appearance would generally be one of the first, where people would see lightning flashes and they would see the emergence of very dark clouds, followed by Hu-Rakan, which is the lord of spinning winds and would inflict devastating gale force winds on people who weren't able to get the right amount of items or sacrifice the right amount of items to the Zemi. And then it would be Coatrischie, whose devastating rain would flatten people's crops, it would destroy people's homes, and it would ruin entire areas because the torrential downpour would be strengthened by deities like Guabancex in the background, who is also generally conceived to be the lord of all of this happening and is also the queen of the wind. Her devastating winds would cause water to approach the land and would cause water to be soaked up into the sky, which would empower Coatrischie and would empower her to inflict more devastation onto the people. Because Coatrischie is generally not extraordinarily powerful, but when she is surrounded by her allies and her friends, she becomes far more powerful, as does Guatauva and Hu-Rakan, which is the reason why all 4 of these deities generally act on their own, but when they come together, they become far more powerful. I think that these are very interesting mythologies to know about. I am actually writing a story where these 4 deities are some of the central antagonists, and I think that it's very interesting to try and incorporate these mythologies into literature, but it's also very neat to know about them just generally. I myself have enjoyed doing the research that I've done in order to find out more about these deities. I'll be sharing some sources that I have on them in the description down below, and I'll also be talking more about them because these deities appear and factor into other myths, and in Hu-Rakan's case, there are other deities with the same name or with names that are very similar, although their roles are actually very different in those mythologies, and they are also considered to be far more powerful. So I think that's something that's interesting and worth learning about. And I hope that you do as well. My name is Luciano Gonzalez. This is Mythology Monday, and there's going to be an end card in this video, which is a first for me. If you like this sort of content, I hope that you'll subscribe, and I would absolutely be thrilled if you could share the video. If you share it, feel free to let me know so that I can thank you properly, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week.